first class is Foundations, which is taught by me, and then you have legal aspects. Well, Foundations is more the background of the investigations field. What we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about licensing. We're going to talk about what do PIs do? Myths. You know, some of the younger guys, I always make them make a comment about, you may not always have a red Ferrari and live in Hawaii. Okay, a lot of the older guys people know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of the younger kids are like, what's he talking about? Magnum PI. You know, we get into that. We also talk about the legal aspects. We talk about ethics, of course, but the legal issues. Taught by Ray Ramirez, great guy. He has a phenomenal, legal background. He was actually a former client of mine. So, and I did a lot of work for his firm. So he knows about, I don't want to sound arrogant, but sound good investigators, but he's also hired crappy ones, and he talks about that too, and ones that have almost ruined his business. So, insurance and civil investigations, we get into that stuff. Now, the meat of these courses is Investigative Techniques Research 1, and then the next one, as you'll hear, is there's two. There's two types of investigative techniques and research. We talk about the techniques, we talk about the research side of it. That's what this business is research. It's what it is. It's research. It's finding information. You know, what you see on TV is not what it's really about. And I say this always the first day about who's seen the show Cheaters? Oh yeah. Well, I didn't mean everybody to put up their hands, but most people, everybody knows what it is. If you didn't put up your hand, I know you know what it is. You just won't admit to it, which is probably a good thing. That's not what this industry is about. It's not what it's about. It's what the public sees. So you're going to come out of this program, seeing, this is different than what I saw on TV. Of course, it is. So the techniques, we teach you these techniques. We teach you the research side of it. We teach you how to find a lot of this information. We teach about adoption searches. We teach about missing person searches. We teach about all that stuff. And then pre-employment background and corporate investigations. You know, Tim's been doing that stuff for years. So he comes in and talks about a lot of the pre-employment stuff. He talks about doing background checks on people. He gives you the kind of the tricks of the trade. And then we have criminal investigations, which is to me what my first love. That's what I love. I get into all that stuff. And essentially, I always tell my students, if you've ever taken a criminal justice course in your life, literally the first weekend is like an entire introduction to criminal justice. I could literally give you a test at the end, and you could probably, if you pass that test, you probably get 3 hours credit for that, because I go through pretty much everything. And then we start breaking it down. And then surveillance, domestic and family investigations, PI practice management, things like this. So you're getting a wide range of everything. We looked around at other schools and said, what do other schools do? One of the things we found was there was no link between licensing and education. Meaning, you could go, and you guys have probably already looked online. There's some good school. There's schools out there, but you get this nice little certificate. It doesn't apply to anything. Later, I'm standing up in front of the private security board in Austin, laying out my credentials as a professor, laying out what I do at the UNT, and I said, "Here's what I want to do." And every one of them was like, "This is the greatest thing. That'd be a great program to have. We'd like to be a part of that program. How can we help you out? What can we do?" And I explained to them what I wanted to do. They were all like, "That's a great idea." All right, so I go to one of our resident lawyers and I sit down with her, and actually it took not long, and wrote out the law when it comes to the private security board and the board rules, which you guys will hear more about throughout the program. I added in, if you complete this program, it exempts you from the 3 years work experience. The reason why is because the intensity of the information you're going to get in this program, to me, outweighs the experience. My experience has been about a third. What I mean by that is you have about a third of the class that immediately after that jumps in, takes the exam, and does really well. We have another third that wait probably about 2 years, and we have a third that just don't do it at all. Because life gets in the way, life issues, life things, or they just do it because they want the experience. Maybe they're their husband's or wife is a lawyer and they want to work for them, and they're just getting the experience to be able to do something like that. If you look around here and you look at the type of student we get in, we're getting in pretty much a lot of second career people. So what I do is students will tell me, they'll say, but Dr. Belshaw, I was a construction worker for many years. How does this apply to me? And I'm like, there were many times that I had to go undercover because a construction company hired me because somebody was stealing their equipment. So you've been a construction worker, you know your way around a construction site. I didn't. I had to kind of figure my way out. I was a probation officer. So, things like that. So what we've integrated from the beginning to now, to the middle, to the end is everybody's experience qualifies. Meaning, everybody's experience, doesn't matter what you've done. You've been a housewife, you've been, an at-home dad, all of that stuff, is a part of what we're trying to do.
Life experience.
Absolutely. What is it you want to do? You might have an idea, I want to do this, but you might be surprised what, my instructors who are trained faculty members, investigators, have the experience, have the knowledge. You might get real excited about something. I give my instructors academic freedom, so they decide how they want to do it. Some do some differently, some do it differently than the way I do it. What I generally do is, most of my courses are 2 weeks long. At that last day, that last Saturday, I have like an exam that covers that information. So the afternoon of the last week, that's for me, I have an exam. I have other instructors that have little quizzes throughout the program, throughout the class, just to kind of measure you, see how you're doing. So it depends on per instructor. Sometimes people have days where I can't make it this day, or because of these hours, we have makeup days and stuff like this. We teach about 2 to 3 of these classes a year. When you walk out of this program here, you're ready to practice. Now, the one thing that I tell my students is I can give you the background, I can give you the knowledge to do it. What I can't give you is the enthusiasm, and I can't give you the confidence to jump into the deep end of the pool. All I can tell you is I've jumped in that deep end of the pool's warm, it's nice, it feels good, but you got to stand on the edge of the pool and you got to jump in. Nice thing is, I'm in the pool with you. I've got a floaty with you. Hey, I got margaritas. We're ready to go. You got to come in. One of the Tally PIs, who's a good friend of mine, he comes in and talks to you guys about halfway through the program about possibly an internship. Or if you're interested, he has a full internship that he does. He's also an attorney as well. But he does an internship. He runs a PI firm and he has a law firm. But he does intern. If you're interested, he come in and you work with him for a period of time. So he has a little education program he puts you through, just like a simple internship. I like him. Wes Bearden he's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. He'll come in and talks to you guys, and it's great. I like to think that a lot of the PI firms out there and insurance firms look at our certificate and weigh pretty heavily. What I tell students is also I encourage you to go for that license to have it, because it serves as a leg up, more of like you've got skin in the game. So when you go apply with somebody, they know you've got some skin in the game. That gives you a leg up.